I recently bought this beastly steam engine. This is an Athearn N-Scale Challenger. It was on a big sale, and I figured, why not? Don't tell my wife. And then I thought this would be a good way to show you guys how I integrate a new locomotive into my fleet so that everything works great. This video is brought to you by Model Railroad Academy. Model Railroad Academy is your online resource for model railroad instructions, ideas, and information, with loads of tutorials and articles for model railroaders of every skill level. One of my personal favorites is Alan Keller's Great Model Railroads series. It is just so much fun to look at all of these different model railroads from all of these different great model railroaders and just get inspiration from those. Plus, you can find tutorials on everything from bench work to electronics to scenery, all sorts of things there. The first 1,000 people to sign up at the link in the description below will get a full year of premium membership to Model Railroad Academy for $1.49. Offer is valid for new members only. This is actually the first Athearn N-Scale locomotive I've had in my possession. Not ordered, still waiting on that F59 PHI. Real quick before I begin, this is not a new locomotive and there are plenty of reviews out there. I just want to say that this is the most premium experience of opening an N-Scale locomotive I have experienced. The box is super premium and the product manual is stellar. It has a bit of the history, the exploded diagram of the model, and a full breakdown of the Tsunami 2 decoder from Soundtracks. The model is super detailed and everything you would expect from a premium offering. Okay, let's get down to what I do to get this integrated. I'll break this into two parts, testing and settings. For testing, I need to do a couple of things. First is just some genuine running. I gotta make sure the thing works. This will include slow running that lets me observe the moving parts in general locomotion. Especially with the steam engine, this is really important because it's got a lot of moving parts, and at this scale, it's very easy for those parts to get broken. I also run through all of my known trouble spots like this one on a double crossover. Now, I know how to fix this one, I just haven't gotten around to fixing it. I just need to double check with this jumper to see if it's the same problem. The next thing is a break-in run. Pretty much every locomotive you get is going to need this. It may not work exactly the way it's supposed to right out of the gate, and some of the factory lubrication may need to seep in a little bit better. But I will run mine at a fairly high speed for about an hour around my layout because I do have a continuous loop. Now, if you have a point-to-point, you're going to have to use your locomotive in some operations for at least a few sessions to really get it broken in. Now, while all of this is going on, I'm listening to the locomotive because this is a sound locomotive. But I'm also listening for mechanical issues if the motor's a little loud and whiny and more than what I can expect. And I'm listening to the sound mix. I need to see if there's anything I need to adjust. Now, the big one that I noticed with this locomotive is the chuff is really loud and it really drowns out most of the other sound effects that I want to hear. It's so loud, as a matter of fact, that I can't even hear really the whistle. I can barely hear it. I'm going to remember that as I go into programming the locomotive for the layout. For this, I'm going to hop into JMRI, and I have it connected through a Digitrax PR4 that I bought to program Digitrax sound decoders. Now, I have built a programming track using the DIY system from DCCEX, and I'll link that video at the end of this video if you want to build yourself one of these. JMRI will automatically find the new decoder when I tell it to in the Add a Loco panel. Now, I'm going to go ahead and change its address to the locomotive road number so that it's easy to say, hey, it's that number. I can just do that. I hit the right, and then that way at least I've got that programmed. Now, the main thing that I need to do is change the audio levels. I can go into the audio level settings and see that the exhaust level, which is the chuff, is set to maximum. I need to adjust that down just a little bit. Now you can really go down a rabbit hole in JMRI, and I'm actually working on a video for that, and it's a pretty expansive video, so it's going to take me a while to get it done. But this is how I get a locomotive ready to go on my layout. There is more that you need to do depending on what you need. This process may include speed matching if you're making a consist out of a couple locomotives. And I hope this helps you get your next locomotive up and running the way that you want. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Jimmy from the DIY and Digital. Stay safe, be kind, and happy railroading.